start with a story that's getting a lot of attention. A man who lives in England had police show up on his doorstep because of a picture that he took while on vacation here in Florida. I want to bring in this gentleman who joins us live via Zoom from England, Jon Richelieu Booth. We appreciate you joining us, Jon, here on Florida Live.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start at the beginning here, and if you could just talk to us about your trip to Florida, where you were, what you were doing, and we'll start at the beginning of things.
Okay. So I came to Florida for my 50th birthday to spend it with friends and family. And I was upstate in New York with a former work colleague and his
No. We don't call that part of New York upstate. We call that Canada.
Family. And it was the July the 4th holiday. And the day after, my friends were shooting guns. And they said, "Hey, Jon, you don't get the chance to do this back in the UK, so would you like to try?" Which is why they photoed me with a shotgun, where I look absolutely terrified. It's the first time I've held a gun. So you can see I'm not holding it right, and I look absolutely petrified.
Right.
But I had some good instruction from a military veteran, my friend, and his son. So that was the trip.
And cool. Where in Florida did you say you were?
I was upstate.
Okay. And so you posted these photos that we're seeing on social media. Talk to us about those posts, what they said, and that kind of thing.
Okay, so I'm quite active on LinkedIn. I launched a support group for contractors during COVID, which turned into a new support group, which I call Coffee with a Hashtag Guy. And as part of that, every day I share a bit of a rundown at the top of the day. We've got a lot to get through. Here's what I'm up to. Here's a challenge I'm having, or whatever, much like an anchor would do at the top of a TV or a radio show. And on the days in question, the photos had nothing to do with absolutely anything. I just posted them because I thought they were cool. And the shotgun photo brought an officer to my door, and he told me that a complaint had been made because it had alarmed somebody. I successfully guessed who the complainant was.
Okay.
And I was told to think twice before I post. You need to realise how you make people feel.
What does that even mean?
Felt a little bit Orwellian, but seeing as I've been a law-abiding citizen for my entire life, I just wished the officer well, have a safe tour of duty, and I thought that was the end of it.
There's more.
Unfortunately, about 10 days later, the same police officer turned up with a little friend at 10:30 at night, forced his way into my property and arrested me for stalking and possession of a firearm based on the LinkedIn post and the header photo of my LinkedIn at the time. I then spent the night in the cells. I was interviewed and I was released on police bail.
You had to bail out?
The police then turned up 3 times at my home address when I wasn't there. One day I was in a different county at my parents' inquest. They passed away in a car crash in 2023. The police turned up 3 times in a row, and then they turned up about a week before I was due to answer bail, which was at the end of October. I was arrested again on the accusation that I'd breached my bail, which I had not done. Turned out.
Okay, so whoever this person is, right, is the one that's actually doing the stalking. Okay, that's just the vibe here. That person seriously hates you, sir. All right, like they're watching what you're doing at all times of the day. They seriously want nothing good, like ex-wife or something, guys. I'm trying to figure out who this person is, but let's understand this here. This is one of the craziest stories I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. Okay, over a gun. Like, listen, the amount of people that I generally bring from Spain to the United States of America while I'm here because I like miss the buddies, right? Or like I miss photographing a model or something, right? So I fly the model to America and we photograph things. You get what I'm saying here, guys, right? The amount of people I bring specifically to shoot guns in this country is crazy. I will say though, I probably don't like. I'm not one of the people who like specifically deliver. How do I explain that, guys? Right? Like, I'm not. We're not taking images or photos or videos generally, right? But they're definitely experiencing it, guys. Right? Um, hey, bro, you'll have to tell me exactly what it was in the comments. I have it up. I can check.
That to be a false report. I was released and returned to the police station at the end of the month, which was my bail date, the 25th of October, and I was charged with not the stalking, not the possession of a firearm, but a Section 4A public order offence for a completely different LinkedIn post. And that post has nothing actionable in it as far as I can tell. I've looked at all my posts, and that charge was dismissed by the Crown Prosecution Service, the CPS, a week before I was due to go to court.
And my understanding is, you mentioned you had an idea who kind of brought this complaint to the police attention. And my understanding is there is some history there. This is a former client of yours who may owe you money. And I'm just curious if you could see from maybe their perspective if this could be, the photos could be interpreted.
No, they're obsessing with him.
Absolutely not. He wasn't mentioned. He wasn't named.
They're obsessing over him.
Nothing to do with a threat. And I explained that to the police on multiple occasions. I also explained to the police that the photo of the gates to the gentleman's house, it's not illegal to take a photo of a residence as long as you're on public ground. That photo was taken by a business partner who this gentleman also owes money. He owes him about 3 times what he owes me.
Multiple nights in jail.
Wow.
I know you've talked about weeks of this process.
Dude,
what
I feel bad.
has this been like?
I feel bad for you.
It's been absolute hell, if I can say that. I've struggled a lot since losing my parents. It's just me. I don't have a family anymore. I've been rediscovering my faith, so I've been asking him a lot of questions about why evil is done, why good people are punished, and I'm still waiting for some answers. But I have faith in him. He'll lead me through this, and hopefully I will be able to stand for people that can't stand for themselves and prevent this guy from hurting anybody else.
John, I think this is a story that in some ways is hard for us in the United States to kind of appreciate fully because of the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and I'm just curious what you kind of make of that. Obviously, laws there a little bit different, and I'm curious kind of how you think of this and how you keep this in perspective.
As I say, I'm kind of revisiting my faith and trying to have a bit of trust in him. I think that America's a great country. You've got, as you said, Garrett, you've got the First Amendment, which protects the freedom of speech. You've got the Second Amendment, which is the right to keep and bear arms. Both of those are very necessary to prevent, in my humble opinion, government overreach, which is what we're seeing in the UK at the moment.
Right.
It feels like it's George Orwell's 1984. We can't say what we want. We can't post anything online.
Yeah, that's Europe.
That's
like all of Europe.
How is it living in the UK? Oh, great, I can't complain. Really, that's good. No, I mean, I can't complain. I'll get locked up. Everyone's got to have seen that meme, and that is what it feels like living in Starmer's Britain at the moment. I know Vice President Vance called Mr. Starmer out in the Oval Office over freedom of speech. So, yeah, it does feel like we don't have freedom of speech in the UK.
You don't?
So where do things go from here? I know you mentioned the charges have been dropped.
Wait. You do, right? But you don't. Because, like, I think you do, but in practice, like, you absolutely, you don't. I'm sorry.
Where do things stand and what's next?
So I'm obviously very relieved and grateful to everybody that stood by me and to God for getting me through this. I think it's sunk in. I'm still a little bit shocked by all the attention this has gotten, with people like Elon Musk tweeting about
It's a
this.
wild headline.
Where do I go from here? Well, I'm semi-retired at the moment because I can't work. My reputation's been ruined.
Why?
I'm considering my options in terms of an action against people on this one. But I'm not in a place where I can actually talk about it at the moment. The thing I can talk about is it's made me feel unsafe. Obviously, in the UK, you can't possess your firearm for the most part. You can't defend yourself, and there's no freedom of speech. I don't feel like this is my country anymore. I don't feel like I belong here. So I will be looking at alternatives. I am praying that God leads me to America. I would love to be in Florida with my adoptive family. That would be the perfect finish to all of this. But for now, I've just got to ride this out and see where it goes.
Well, Jon, there's certainly a lot of folks here in Florida who would welcome you here. Last thing I want to ask you about the response to this story. You mentioned Elon Musk and some of this response to this. Did you ever imagine this, or what has that been like, seeing some of that support and that reaction really pouring in from all corners?
It's very humbling. I wasn't prepared for it. I certainly wasn't prepared for Mr. Musk to tweet. I wasn't prepared for people like Alex Jones to put a post out, or all the YouTubers that I've seen that have mentioned this.
Listen to the title. People
coming up to me in the street, in my gym, on public transport, just saying, we've seen you online and just keep going, keep fighting this. Can't imagine what it's been like for you. It's a humbling experience, and it reminds you that they can be a great people. They only lack the light to show them the way, and somebody needs to be that light for them. So, whatever God's plan is, I've got faith.
How do they even justify this?
I hope we get through this, because freedom of speech, I don't think it's coming back in the UK.
No, because people don't like what you're saying, and that's kind of the thing here. Freedom of speech, you have to be able to say things specifically that people do not like, right? You can't be policed on what you're saying, at least here. I think that's the problem. Once you start that, it's a slippery slope, because now anyone can basically decide tomorrow that this word now right here is like the worst word humanly possible to basically say. If you're in that scenario, then I understand, sir, that you're having a bad day, bro. Most people are basically having a bad day in places like this, where freedom of speech and like even the ability to basically post what you want or talk about what you want specifically on the internet is not really something that you can even do anymore, guys. It's absolutely frustrating to hear. And the fact that he is basically being targeted because he utilized a firearm in a country that he was not currently in is absolutely frightening, guys. So even the image of him holding a firearm in another country is enough to basically stress everyone out, for him to now get arrested, questioned, and then arrested and jailed and put out on bail. Why? Guys, like that's a different type of that's a different type of WTF right here, guys. All right. You understand? Hopefully this never happens to anyone. And again, all right, the amount of people that I have brought to the United States of America, right? Let's say to utilize a firearm for the first time. Wild. Okay. I don't really understand. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.